Hey, I'm Mike.
Hey, I'm Ethan.
I watched the first half of Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth.
I watched the second half of Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth.
And this is the other half. Springo Bites! Boy, everyone, this is exciting. Usually we do a little bit of like warming up before an episode, but Ethan is so fucking pumped to talk about this movie.
So excited because this is it. We're now in downhill trajectory, like straight downhill. Like this is where the horror movie franchises are like, shit. They want more of this.
Yeah.
We got to figure out a way to make more, and we always have to amp up the stakes.
Yes.
And
we always have to bring back the villain.
You always have to bring back the villain.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, the first movie, right?
Yeah.
Limiting. So you have this rule of like only do harm to like bad people.
Yeah.
And like people who
Well,
deserve
you harm
it.
that like open up the box.
Yeah, anyone who does anything wrong. But like, that's so limiting. Why not just do everything on Earth? Why not just attack everyone, you know?
You know what's definitely not limiting? Having Pinhead fucking stuck in a pillar for most of the movie. With his fucking goofy little head sticking out the side of it.
So that was the thing, is when you describe the pillar from the last movie, we watched Hellraiser.
It doesn't look anything like the pillar from the last movie.
No, but there's a shot of it from, I believe it coming out from the top, like at
Okay.
the beginning. And it is just obviously like 4 planks stuck together.
Yeah.
Rising up out of hell.
Yes.
Was it called the Soul Pillar? Pillar of Soul?
Sure. I don't think it's mentioned in my half of the movie.
We'll go with that. Pillar of Soul. I think
Yeah.
that's on the
wiki.
The wiki. But yeah, that's the thing is when I started my half of the movie, I was like, all right. So we called it. Last week we were like halfway through, we were like, Cenobites are going to come back sooner. And I think I said a little bit sooner, but you said like way sooner if I remember.
I said
right.
it was going to be halfway through by half, which I was wrong. It was actually 30 minutes into the movie Pinhead shows up. Well, okay. Pinhead starts talking 30 minutes into the movie, but like he's part of this like
the
art
pillar.
Sculpture pillar thing. So, you know, his little eyes are popping out and his face is glowing. But he doesn't actually say anything. He doesn't seem conscious until about 30 minutes into my half of the movie.
Okay.
So it's
wow, so that's pretty soon.
It's in between what I think we both wanted.
They're really jumping in though.
They really are. They don't give a fuck.
I think that's the
anymore.
thing now.
And they're not even
subtlety's gone.
They're not even explaining why he's back in my half of the movie.
Well, I think it was explained supposedly in the last part of the movie where he came because he appeared at the end of the second movie, right?
Yeah,
do you remember
but
why
he dies.
But the pillar appears, doesn't it?
He's not on the pillar.
He's not on the pillar?
No.
He's not there yet?
And that's the thing. The pillar in the second movie does not look like this pillar.
Huh. That's funny because they explain in my half, he's like, you rose back from the depths. And it's like in the pillar, I guess. That's it.
Sure, man.
Not really any great reason from what I can tell.
As to where the pillar came from.
No.
Yeah. No, it doesn't matter.
He's back, Yeah. Pinhead's back.
And he's back with a vengeance. He's hungry for flesh and for sex and for violence.
All that stuff. Was there sex in your half?
Yeah, but it was so bad. It was I think there was one sex scene between JP, our villain, our smoking villain. You don't see him in your half of the movie at all.
Look, Hellraiser gets out of that box like immediately. And then there's any other human villains are there, they're gone. They're smoked.
Okay, well, smoked indeed. This guy JP is like a smoker, and this scene was so bad. He charms this blonde lady who's the worst actor in the movie to the point where I'm like, I feel like she's actually a good actor, and she's doing like a Marilyn Monroe impression or something. No, not Joey. Not Joey and not Terry. She's a woman who you never see in your half of the movie because she's getting fucked by JP. And then he's
never a good phrase when you say getting fucked by JP.
By JP.
JP
That's his
is
name, right?
You're probably right, but JP
is
just
the grossest name.
Just the bad
Makes
name.
me think of JP Morgan.
Yeah. Not a good person.
No.
JP Morgan does fuck me over quite often though. So
but I'm ching. But yeah, it's like the unsexiest sex scene. Like it really puts every sex scene in earlier Hellraiser movies to fucking shame.
Which those aren't even like great.
They're just dripping with like sensuality and sexuality and like passion and tension. This is like the lady's on her back, her arms are barely tied up. JP is smoking a cigarette while fucking her, and like his hands are on her boobs, and it was just like it It was the worst sex scene I've ever seen.
Not horny at all.
No, I think that's the only sex scene in my half of the movie too.
Yeah.
That's it. So barely any sex.
Here's
But
the thing:
yeah,
is in an American movie, you got to tone down the sex,
This
but you got to
movie
amp
takes
up that
place in
violence.
America.
Yeah, that's the thing. This movie is the first one that he shot in America too.
yeah, and it takes place in New York.
New York City.
New York City.
How did they get the soul pillar over there?
Well, wouldn't you like to know?
I would like to know.
I'll tell
Tell
you.
me the plot.
Movie opens with our friend JP. You don't see JP at all in your half of the movie. He just got hit by Terry.
Okay. No, I mean
He's on the ground.
He's technically there.
Oh, but then he gets eaten by the pillar like immediately.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll get to it. Okay. So the pillar is in an art gallery.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I love it.
It gets worse.
Wait, what the fuck? Hold on. Why did they find? Where did they find this? They probably found it in the house, and they're like,
They
priceless
found it-
artifact.
They found it in the asylum. Apparently, this art gallery makes money by finding pieces of art from student art from art schools and insane asylums.
Wow.
And this one,
That
of
is-
course, was in the what's the name? The Chenard or whatever the fuck it's called. The Chenard Institute.
Sure.
From the second movie.
Yeah.
That's where they found this one. They're selling it. And JP comes across it, loves it, puts it in his club, which is called the Boiler Room.
He owns a club. Oh, he owns a boiler room. Okay.
He owns the boiler room, and it's I think it's an actual boiler room that's next to or below a fancy restaurant. I don't know if that comes into play in your half of the movie.
Not really, but it is an interesting concept of the 90s having a room that's just full of heavy metal and people just doing club stuff.
It wasn't even heavy metal. It was like Beach Boys
Oh, there was
music.
heavy metal in my house.
Oh, not my. It was lame. I was
Oh.
like, they're trying to make this club seem so imposing and scary, and it's just like this is like a straight man's idea of like what a gay club must be. Or
It looked like a
something.
biker bar, kind of.
It looked like the lamest biker
But
bar.
it was
It
lame.
looked like a biker bar that was made by Disney.
Yeah, and it had also they just had sections that were just scaffolding. And they're
Yeah.
like, people just stand on this. Isn't that cool? And I'm like, I guess it's kind of
considered
weird.
dangerous.
Yeah.
That's the most scary thing about the whole thing is like it's a fucking death trap if a fire like breaks out. But anyway,
Yeah, it's not OSHA compliant. That's the
No,
scariest part
scariest
about
thing.
it.
So anyway, this pillar is bought, put in the club, and then a boy, just a random kid, steals because part of the pillar is Pinhead's face, a bunch of other like screaming faces, and the puzzle box.
Mhm.
A boy, just a random kid, steals the puzzle box, and then
How'd the puzzle box get in there? Is that part of the pillar that popped
part
up?
of the pillar.
Okay.
It was in the
sure.
pillar. Boy steals the puzzle box for some reason, and then we see.
I mean, it's cool.
It's cool. Why not? Right?
It's a
but it's
cool
part of a
thing.
puzzle. If it's part of like a piece of art, I wouldn't think it was.
Well, that's
because
because you have morals, but this guy's working at a club that is run by the Beach Boys.
That's true. So we then meet Joey, who is a down on her luck newscaster. She's doing a story at a hospital, but nothing interesting is happening. She's like, nobody died. And she's upset that that's happening.
Yeah.
But then a boy is brought in. He's covered in blood and is dragging chains behind him. And she's just like, what the fuck is going on?
If it bleeds, it leads.
Exactly. And so she needs to
Pinhead.
get to the bottom of this. Yes, that's right. And so he's being dragged into like I don't know, an emergency like room. And this is where Terry meets Joey. Terry is like also down on her luck, but she's like a woman who was like abused by every boyfriend she's ever had, and a homeless woman. So she's got problems. And she's like, well, I found him at the boiler room, tells this to Joey, and then Terry runs off. And then Joey sees the boy sort of like spasming and getting electrocuted by the chains, and then his head explodes.
Whoa.
And that's the beginning of the movie.
That's a cool opening.
Pretty great.
That's fun.
One other thing I wanted to mention, there's no directing credit in this movie.
Wait, what? No way.
Now, if you look it up on IMDb,
Uh-huh.
it says who the director is. But the opening credits do not say directed by in a person's name.
Interesting.
I don't know if it comes if it's revealed in your half, but it has written by, it has executive produced by. The
I'm
last
pretty sure the last frame says directed by.
Okay, there you
like
go.
At the
Because
start of the credits.
it was weird. Like I was like, "Whoa, is this already so early that like no director wants to put their name on it?" But I guess
no, they
not.
gotta save it.
Yeah, that's
If
right.
you made it all the way through, you get to have the reward of knowing
of
who
knowing
directed this.
who's responsible for this.
Yeah.
So anyway, so Joey is like, okay, I got to figure out what happened to this boy. So she goes to the boiler room, because that's what Terry had said earlier. It was like, found him at the boiler room. She goes to the boiler room, and then now Ethan, tell me, does this happen in your half of the movie? The picture quality just suddenly dips out, and it's like full screen VHS tape. What the fuck?
I think that's probably because they had maybe like a lower quality version of this, and then they pieced it together in the remaster, and they didn't have the higher quality version of that.
That's nuts to me.
Because it's just random.
It's so random. Completely kills the flow of the movie. I don't even know why they would put those scenes back in there.
Well, I don't think. I mean, you have to have some of the scenes in there.
No, I think this is like an extended cut.
Oh, you think so?
I think the director wanted to put those back in, but he only had like the work.
Oh, you might be right.
The
like
work,
the bad ones.
Yeah, exactly. The video quality of it. So anyway, so she's walking around the bar, finds JP, and is like, "I'm looking for Terry." Terry sees this, and Terry's like, "I gotta talk to this lady, Joey. I need to talk to her." But first, we get Joey's Vietnam War flashback. Her father died in Vietnam.
So she has flashbacks.
Yes.
Of that.
Yes. I don't know why. Before she was born.
Yeah, before she was born.
Yeah. So then she wakes up from the nightmare, and Terry's on the phone, and Terry's like, "Hey, I want to come stay at your place, and if I come stay at your place, you can ask me questions about what happened."
I mean, I've heard of like generational trauma, like being passed down, but I don't know if you have like visions of what happened.
This feels more like stolen valor than anything else. She's just sort of screaming in a field while her dad dies bleeding out after being shot by a bunch of people, and she's just like, "Daddy, come back!" It's bad.
What a weird character choice.
I don't know why they did this. Like, does it ever come back in your half of the movie?
Oh yeah, it does.
Oh, okay.
But like, it doesn't. You could have made it anything else. You didn't have to make it Vietnam. No, women can't get in the. I don't think women can go on the front lines actually. Then.
Oh really?
So I don't think that would have worked. But, she could have done. I don't know. A husband, or maybe a dad who was still alive and she knew. Like, why do it before she was born? Oh, there is a reason, but it's stupid.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it.
Literally, like, just anyway.
Tell me.
No, I'm not. You'll wait. You'll hear
it.
Yeah, there's just so many other opportunities for her to like have any other stakes in this besides just like
her dad
that she didn't
know. It is really funny because she has like a photo of her dad like on her end table. But her dad's photo's like behind like a potted plant, and so it kind of looks like, you know, like cliche Vietnam War image of like a guy in the brush like looking through the leaves. It's so stupid, and I know that was the director's intention.
That's pretty funny.
And it annoys me. Either way, Terry is like, I found. Terry tells Joey about the puzzle box, also tells her about the art piece where she found it. They go to the art gallery. We learn all of this about the Chenard Institute as well as Kirsty. So Joey reaches out to get Kirsty's tape, and she does. And there's a tape of Kirsty from the second movie in the insane asylum talking about the puzzle box.
Cameo.
There you go. But it's also a really low quality video. So it's like they could have gotten any actor, but I think it's probably the actor from the second movie.
Probably.
Either way. And while Joey's watching the tape, it gets all staticky. And then in the static is human Pinhead saying, what does he say? He says, "She's telling the truth, Joey." And I'm just like, what?
What's up with human Pinhead in this one?
I don't know. And then Joey has another Vietnam War flashback, but then Vietnam War changes to World War I.
Oh no.
And it's human Pinhead in there. And
yeah.
Human Pinhead is like, "I'm coming for you, Joey," or something like that. I don't know. And then as all this is happening, JP picks up that blonde girl, fucks her, and then so he's fucking her in front of this like blonde girl in front of the pillar, the art pillar.
Oh, nice.
And there's Pinhead's face watching him, and then Pinhead's eyes open up, and he's just like peeping Tomming them. It's fucking weird.
I kind of like that.
It's so goofy.
Dumb.
And then so they're done having sex, and JP's art is full of, or a room is full of art, like not great art, almost like Francis Bacon looking art, but like bad Francis Bacon.
Sure.
And so the blonde girl's like looking around at all the art, and she goes,
"So cool. Radical. Wow, you've got great taste. This really says it, you know."
Wow.
It's really weird.
Well, I mean, that's why she let him fuck him,
yeah,
I guess. But
so.
Weird choice.
Weird choice. And then then he's like, I'll pick up another beautiful girl tomorrow. And then she's like, you fucking asshole. And then
I said your art was nice and it fucking sucks.
yeah, and then the pillar shoots out chains, grabs the blonde, rips her skin off, and then swallows her like musculature bone structure. And then Pinhead pops out, and he's just like, JP, my man, keep doing this shit. Like, he doesn't say it like that.
Oh,
but
okay.
he's basically,
I honestly would have been like, whoa.
that would have been cool, wouldn't it? Also, Pinhead really likes talking in this movie. Like, I feel like this is the most Pinhead has ever spoken before.
Yeah,
really
definitely.
kills the mystique of Pinhead, I feel.
Yeah. Again, this is the part where the movie is trying to amp up everything, and for worse, mostly.
I'm so curious to see how this turns out.
Yeah.
You were so pumped. So Pinhead basically starts talking like Jordan Peterson to JP, and he's just like, "Fuck your parents, man. Don't listen to fucking anybody. Just listen to me. Bring women to me so I can eat them." And then JP's like, "No, fuck you. I'm gonna kill you." So then he pulls out a gun and shoots the Pinhead statue.
Like
but then Pinhead catches the bullets and spits them out of his mouth. And then JP's like, "I'm on your side now." So
well, that was crazy. All right.
yeah. So then as all this is happening too, Terry is at Joey's apartment, and Terry gets a phone call from JP. And JP's like, "Hey, Terry, come to my place and fuck me." And Terry's like, "No, you're a bad man." And then she hangs up the phone. And then there's another call. And it's some guy saying that Joey got a new job in Monterey.
Monterey on the other, because they're in like New York area.
They're
right?
in New York.
So that's like the other side of the country.
And,
I think.
and Terry's very upset about this. And I'm just like, she calls and she accuses Joey of being a liar. And I'm just like, I don't know
What's happening?
Yeah, like, why is she so upset? But anyway, Terry fucking, like, storms out, goes over to JP's house, and JP really wants to fuck her because obviously he wants to feed her body to the pillar.
Right, yeah.
But
he's only got the best intentions for her.
Of course. But then Terry is like, no, fuck you, pulls out a brass knuckles and punches JP. JP falls limp, and then Pinhead statue is like, "Hey, Terry, your life sucks. Why don't you help me?" And that's the end of my half.
Well, it starts off media. I'm like, "Who's Terry?" He's like, "Help me. Your life sucks."
Yeah,
Kick
yeah.
him in. She's like, "Okay." And she's crying, but she's crying. She's upset.
She's very upset.
She doesn't want to
She's
kill
a
this guy.
Very complicated character, Terry.
Yeah, Terry.
Terry and Joey and JP.
Tearing up this guy's life
Yeah,
by kicking him in
that's
the
right.
Pinhead. So there you go. Then fucking Pinhead appears. And
So
I'm also-
Pinhead comes out of the statue?
It explodes
God.
in like a crazy effect. It's like
Wow.
everything starts like, you're like, oh shit, everything starts animating. Like all the little weird faces and stuff start getting fleshy, and there's blood and everything.
Right.
I'm like, oh man, are all these creatures gonna come out? No, it's just
No,
Pinhead.
Just Pinhead.
Pinhead
None of the other
appears.
Cenobites.
No. But yeah, so it's funny because this is coming from what I like to call Pillarhead, and then he turned into Pinhead.
I like Pillarhead.
Pillarhead.
It looks fucking goofy. Like just this like little
It's
pinhead
so
face.
weird. It looks
It doesn't look good.
it looks like bad enemy design in a game
It really
that like is
does.
supposed to hop around.
And you can tell where the soft parts of the pillar are when
Oh,
his
yeah.
head is. It's just like it doesn't look good.
It doesn't look good. It's,
And also,
it's a
like,
choice.
I know that Terry's sort of like a very weak character, very sad character. This fucking guy was talking to me, promising me great things. I'd be like, no, I don't trust you.
Yeah.
You're clearly bad.
I mean, sure that guy sucks or whatever, but like,
yeah,
still.
yeah. But anyway, so what happens now
like
that he's freed?
Well, he tempts her with like cool dark magics and all sorts of like infinite pleasures and all sorts
Right.
of stuff, which is better than your boring life. She's like, okay, I'll do it.
right.
So yeah, he's free, and then let's see, we cut to Joey, who I didn't know her
Mhm.
name.
Right.
She walks out and is like, looks in her house, which looks like the house from Visage from the game we played. And she opens the door to a radio, and the radio has someone that's like, Joey, get over here. Go to the window. And she goes to the window, and she's like a guy like sitting there. I'm like, what the hell is happening? Also, I didn't know, like, because Joey is traditionally a man's name, which is also
Right.
interesting because Terry's also kind of traditionally a man's name, I feel like.
Sure, yeah.
So it was an interesting choice. I'm not really sure what
reason
what
there's
significance
behind all
there
that.
was. I don't know if
I
there was
assume
one.
that maybe Joey was originally supposed to be a man, and then they changed it to like a lady.
The cast has a lady, yeah.
Yeah, which
Just-
makes it a little more interesting.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So then anyway, she goes and puts her hand through kind of like this portal thing, and she's like, "Whoa, my hand's disappearing." And then she walks through and crosses to the other side,
Uh-huh.
and it's human Pinhead, also known as Elliot Spender.
Okay,
Which
that's
is,
his human
he's the
name.
captain. That's his human's name.
Yeah.
But he of course runs away and runs through I don't know, like
MC Escher?
World War One
World War
trenches, and everyone's dead and dying.
Okay.
It's very weird. And she catches up to him and he's like, "Hey, I'm surprised you joined me." And she's like, "Yeah, I walked through madness for you. This is crazy. Where am I?" It's like,
why did she do that?
You're between. I don't know, because she got told to on the radio.
Yeah, true.
You
gotta listen to the
she
radio.
wanted answers to her dad, I guess. I don't
Okay.
know. And she's like, "Okay, Mr. Ghost," because he's like, "Have you ever met a ghost before?" It's like, "No." She's like, "First, you gotta tell me what the hell is going on." And he's like, "Hell is what's going on, and we have to stop it." I'm
God,
like, this movie's great. It's so bad. She's like, "Your dream is to find your father," and I'm like, "Your father, right?" She's like, "Yeah, he's here. You're
in hell.
He's in limbo between heaven or hell."
Oh, okay.
Then he talks about like, "I was an explorer and explored her forbidden pleasures after I became a captain," and it's a scene of the last movie we saw at the very beginning where he's the little explorer like opening up the puzzle box,
Right.
And he gets turned into Pinhead.
Right.
You're like,
Right.
"Oh shit."
What a reveal.
Yeah.
I like how there's continuity sometimes in these movies.
I know.
It kind of reminds me a little bit about what was it, Resident Evil, this Resident Evil series, where just like some things would carry over, but some things
are
weren't.
not.
Yeah.
But then he reveals that like, oh yeah, so what happened was I got separated from my Cenobite because I realized I was human.
You got separated.
He got
with the
separated,
Cenobite?
like, and that's like his bad side. And this is
Right,
like his
this is
like
alter ego.
this is his humanity basically.
Okay.
Mike, don't yell into the mic. You're
I'm
blowing
sorry,
it.
I'm
You're
sorry.
blowing it out.
I'm sorry.
I know.
I
It just
couldn't
blew your mind.
I could. It really is insane. Okay, so there's two.
There's two
pinheads.
now. There's two pinheads.
Okay.
Makes
great.
sense, right?
Sure.
Perfect.
One is in limbo.
So what
and
happened?
one is on Earth.
Yeah. So Christy Cotton from the last movie
Yeah.
released him for
Right.
real now.
Yes.
And so now, they always had that Cenobite code, right? Where it's like
Mhm.
we only hurt people who were bad.
Who want to fuck?
But that was because of our humanity, like held it back or whatever. But now he just wants to kill everyone. He's just gonna go mad
because he's separated.
because he's separated.
Since he's no longer human.
So you
That's
gotta
so
you gotta amp
stupid.
up the stakes, baby. You gotta break the rules somehow.
Right, you got to bend him a
And
little
Christy
bit.
did it apparently.
Yeah. Kirsty.
Kirsty, you're right. Excuse me.
It's okay. What happened to
Um,
her? Is she still alive?
I don't know.
She's not in this movie.
She's not in this movie. She's
Mm.
just a flashback.
Okay.
I
Hope she's living a good life.
So then, she's living in a place where Pinhead is not, so probably pretty okay.
But Pinhead's on Earth, and she's on Earth.
That's true, and this is Hell on Earth, Pinhead 3.
Hellraiser 3.
So then it's like, you got to take that box back. The box is that's the one thing he wants to destroy, because it's the one thing that will take him back into hell.
Mhm.
So you got to find that, and you got to use it against him. She's
Got
like,
it.
okay, I guess I'll do that, but I'm a little scared. He's like, don't worry, you could do it. You crossed over to like the creepy zone just by based on like,
Creepy Zone.
yeah, whatever they call it, the plane or whatever. This
Yeah,
plane.
I like Creepy Zone.
And so you have the gusto and the guts for this, Missy. So you can do it. By the way, you have to close it in your apartment because it has to like cross through a window and get into your apartment, which is like another
Why?
domain.
Why
I don't
her
know.
apartment?
'Cause
Could've been
that's-
anybody's
that's where
apartment.
that's where it ends up. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway,
Why am I asking these questions?
knows?
It doesn't really matter.
so it's the box. Gotta use the box, and then
Right.
we go cut to a heavy metal concert at the bar, the boiler room,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a bunch
The
of weird-
owner's dead now.
I guess so, yeah. But the place still vibes.
Yeah, that's right. The place
Um,
still vibes.
There's like a weird baby floating in a circle.
There's like a baby statue.
Okay, so there's weird art, but some of this art starts coming alive.
Whoa, the baby comes alive?
The baby's like, "Ah!" And then there's like a hand on the wall that like starts moving.
Mm.
And then suddenly, Pinhead appears and is like,
Time to party!
he said, shall we begin? And then all hell breaks loose.
Oh, man.
Quite literally, just murders everywhere. Just like chains coming out of the wall,
Fuck.
people just getting killed in random ways.
Mm.
One of the ways that I'm going to highlight is one of the funkier ones is there's a weird like orb that appears, turns into Pinhead's face to this lady. Like this lady's looking at it, like me and you are looking at it. Like
Yes.
you, imagine you
We're
sitting
sitting
across
across
from
from
me,
each other, yeah.
turns into a Pinhead face.
Okay.
And then you go last, and go, ha ha ha, and then turns into a knife and then just stabs her
Holy shit.
in the mouth. Out of
What?
all the places, so like you just see that, and then she falls over, and it's like, what is going on?
Wow.
Another one that was great is this guy's like, whoa, like not really being affected by anything,
He's
and then a
probably
bunch of
drunk or high.
bunch of CDs pop up, and
It's probably the DJ.
and they all fly. Oh yeah, and they all fly around his head,
Yeah.
and then they just stab into his head all at once. I'm like, oh
This
man,
music's bad for you.
yeah, music goes straight to your head, rots your brain, and then you see where they're like, okay, budget time, because you just hear all this murdering nonsense happening, and you just see the club's doors and like, people trying to get out. You just see blood just coming through the bottom of the door. You can't see anything, but you can hear it.
But
Which honestly,
whatever's happening there, very expensive.
very expensive, very
Yeah,
scary.
Yeah.
Which I feel like if you're gonna do the budget shot, which I understand, it's expensive to have a whole bunch of kills.
Yes.
I feel like you'd maybe show like one kill and then cut to that, so the rest is left to imagination.
Yeah.
Or something. But it's like, no, they spend a good 3 minutes doing pretty okay kills, couple interesting ones.
Yeah.
And then they're like, all right,
They start running out of money.
we're done. You could just
Blood.
implied the rest of it. Like
Yeah.
you do one or the other.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was weird.
Well, they want to show the bloodshed. That's what the people are here for.
But then they don't show the blood door part. Just go to the next scene.
Oh, I
like we
see.
understand everyone's dying in there. We saw it. You
Yeah,
did it.
that's fair. That's
It was
fair.
a weird choice.
Was it at least a good shot?
It was kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of
You
unnecessary.
know what bothered me about the movie? The director's constantly doing these like tracking shots where he goes to like really like intense close-ups on people's
yeah,
faces.
the camera work in this is not good.
It's trying so hard,
trying very
but it's
hard.
going in the wrong direction.
That's
It
the problem with this
ineffective.
movie is it's just ramping up too much. It's
Yeah.
trying too hard.
Just
And I don't know if it's intentionally leaning into the corniness. I feel like it's not.
yeah, I don't
But
know.
and that's kind of what I like about it, though. Like it's not
Really?
good.
It's not. It's
No.
definitely worse than the last two.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
But I like how cheesy it is. Like
Yeah.
it's pure cheese.
it is.
It's pure.
It's much less sexy than the last two.
Oh no, there's not a sexual appeal here. You're gonna be so limp watching this movie.
Yeah, that's right. And that's the worst thing you could say about a Hellraiser film.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then we got Doc. Oh yeah, so Joey.
Doc?
So Joey sees this on TV
Mm-hmm.
and is like, "Oh my god, this is crazy!" Like sees that there's like something crazy going on in the boiler room, like a whole bunch of people getting killed,
Right.
and all sorts of stuff. And there's a news report. She's like, "Oh, Doc." So she calls Doc, who's
Doc
got
is the
mustache.
cameraman.
He's the cameraman. He's
Yeah.
like,
and he's very supportive of her.
and she's like, "Turn on the TV." And he's like, "Okay." He calls with his GTE phone, and he turns on. He's like, "Nothing on here." But anyway, I'll meet you at the boiler room. So he goes.
No, don't go to the boiler room.
And then she leaves to go to the boiler room, and you realize the TV's been unplugged the whole time. It's a trick.
Oh my god.
It's a trick just for her.
Did Pinhead do that?
Sure. Why not?
Pinhead unplugged this guy's TV.
I guess. Yeah,
Cool.
Joey's TV. I have no idea
Good
how.
to know. All right.
So then Jerry goes into the boiler room, and it's
Mhm.
just dead bodies everywhere
Right.
in all sorts of different states, and some of them look like Halloween decorations, and some of them look pretty good. It's definitely a mixed bag on the kills here, but it's definitely like, wow, everyone partied too hard here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then Pinhead appears and is like, "Oh, give me the box."
like,
No. It's like, "Fool, I'll get you." And then he gets close to her, but then the box zaps her or zaps him.
Oh.
He's like, "Ah." Also, it's just funny to me that's just like, I'm gonna fight this guy. He just murdered a whole club all by
yeah,
himself.
I'm gonna stand up to this dude.
But I'm gonna stand up to this guy because I got the box.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's scary. This box.
And he's like, if I can't touch you, I'm gonna get you anyway. So she runs
How?
out into the street, and this is one of my favorite sequences in the movie
What
because she
happened?
runs out into the street,
yeah.
and things start going haywire because everything's trying to kill her.
In the
so
street?
this taxi, yes, so this taxi driving almost hits her. She dodges out of the way, and it crashes into a telephone pole.
Okay.
Okay, and the telephone pole
Okay.
falls over and exposes these electrical wires that are flying everywhere, like flopping around like noodles.
Right.
And they almost look sentient, and they're trying to like attack her, but they miss. And she runs out of the way. But
Right.
then while she's running, she passes the fire hydrant, which explodes and puts water everywhere, and the water starts chasing her. and then the
God.
water gets electrified by
yeah.
the poles that like go, "Ooh, my turn now."
Oh my
and so she's
God.
running away from electrified water. This happens in like 10 seconds. This is ridiculous how fast this goes. And she keeps running, and the city is literally just putting random explosions everywhere and just trying to kill her.
Yes.
It's just like cars trying to hit her, and she's just running, and at some point they're like, "We're out of ideas. We blew it all with that." So she's just running, and literally just like random explosives are going off in the city. I don't
This
know.
is just New York.
I guess so. It's just New York. And she finally like,
It's a rough and tumble city.
yeah, she finally gets to
If this were to happen to you, where would you go that you'd think you'd be safe?
dude, I don't know. I'll just keep running.
Yeah, I
Probably
guess
the
that
field,
worked for her.
The fields.
The fields?
Like anywhere not in the
Central
city.
Park?
Central Park, probably.
That's a
better.
dangerous place to go at night
Why?
because like homeless people are there. and
I
they'll
would rather
kill
take
you.
them than a bunch of
Pinhead.
exploding. Yeah, 100 times over. Just yeah, there's probably nice people in Central Park sleeping there.
I'm also I'm not saying every homeless person in Central Park is gonna fucking kill you, but I know like that's like the common knowledge. Just don't go in Central Park at night, or else.
Well, it's just because city folk are like, oh man, there's a big park and it's scary.
Yeah.
It's not the city. It's not lit as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then she gets in front of the TVs. The TVs are like, oh, this is fine. And then she sees on TV, it turns on, and she sees herself.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh my God. She turns.
She's always wanted to be on TV.
She always wanted to be on TV, and it turns, and it's Cenobite Doc, and he has a camera lens in his eye, for his eye, and it zooms in and it says like, look what they did to me. He's very upset that he's been
That's
turned
pretty
to a
cool
Cenobite.
though, because he's a cameraman.
Yeah,
exactly. That's cute.
So then,
but he doesn't seem to be happy about.
He's not happy about it. He starts exploding TVs by her just by looking at it.
Right.
And then
Can't control it.
there's this random guy. She bumps into this guy. And this guy's like, hey, babe, you want to talk? And she's just like, run for your life. He's like, oh, you don't gotta chill out like that. And he turns around, and Doc is there. It's just like,
stay away from me.
I don't remember what he said, but he just immediately was just like, well, just
time for your close up.
Oh, he said that afterwards.
Did he really?
He did. His
God.
eye zoomed out and punched a hole in that guy's head with the telescopic lens. And so you see right through her, and she's like, oh my God, like through the head, and she runs away. And he says, what, aren't you ready for your close-up?
No, he does not.
Yes, he does.
That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Oh my God.
That's what it is. It was great.
This ending sounds so much better than the first half of the movie.
It's awesome. It's so over top and bad.
I love that.
So then another Cenobite appears.
Mm-hmm. Who's he?
It's the CD man that we saw earlier, but so he's got a bunch of CDs still sticking out of his head, and he's all mechanical for some reason, I guess, because he's
so
electronic.
stupid.
And then he pulls out a CD from him and just throws it really fast. And I think it misses, obviously. It hits something.
That's so funny.
So then we got a third Cenobite, which I don't recognize who he's from, but he's got a whole bunch of barbed wire around his head. Mm-hmm. And this is a great scene, and I'm not going to do it justice by explaining it because it's all about the comedic timing. But she sees it, he looks at her, and then she looks at him, and he just opens his mouth, goes, and then this fire comes out. And she's like, oh shit, gotta run from that guy. So she runs, and then a bunch of cops appear.
Oh no, the worst.
I know, right? Can't get any better.
Yeah.
But they're like, lady, are you okay? What's going on? And she's like, get her right away. Get her out of here. They're like, oh, it's okay. And then one Cenobite comes, and the CD man just gets a CD and just pegs a cop right in the eye. And they're like, oh, my God. So they start shooting. And there's this lady cop the whole time.
Yeah.
That I'm just going to put the sound clips in because I can't do her justice. But her acting is just screaming out her lines as loud as possible. And it's amazing.
Yeah.
So it's like, who are you? Shoot him. Get down, woman. And all this stuff. And they start shooting at the Cenobites. They're like, whatever, we don't care. And they keep walking. And then they just fucking, I'm trying to remember how they blew it up. But they just blow it up. They blow up all the cops. No. Here's what they do. They throw gasoline on the...
Where'd they get gasoline?
I don't know. They spit gasoline something with their magic stuff. They put it all their cars. Yeah. And then the fire guy just breathes fire and explodes the whole cars.
This is the stupidest fucking thing in the world.
It's so good.
Oh, God.
It's so bad.
I like how it seems like there's a fear of technology in this movie, too. Because there's like a camera guy, there's a CD guy.
Yeah.
You have to return
It's going to start amping up now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? This is how you get to the internet.
This
is how you get to the internet episode.
My God, you're so
You got to put your AOL disc from the Cenobite in there and be like, free trial to hell. 30 days free of hell, internet.
Yeah. Give me your pinhead number.
My ice cream address. Type in the horror L.
Oh, very good.
All right. Enough of that.
All right.
We go to a Catholic church now. She runs into a Catholic church.
We're safe here.
Exactly. We're going to be safe here. And she's like, priest, man. Priest. There's demons chasing me. And he's like, demons aren't real. They're just metaphors. And then...
That's all it takes for this guy. They're not real.
And then all of a sudden the door opens and Hellraiser's there, or Pinhead, excuse me. And she's like, turns around and dramatically zooms in. She goes, what the fuck is that? And then he gets across. The priest goes, here's a cross. He goes, stay away from us. And he's like, oh shit, Pinhead had a great line. I'm going to edit in here, but I don't remember it properly for you.
Okay.
But it's basically like, those who bear witness to false idols shall suffer. And like the cross then melts onto his hand and burns his hand.
Oh,
I'm like
yeah,
crazy.
baby.
And then he gets up front and like starts messing with all the like stands at the altar there.
Yeah.
And
This
it's
is
like
insane.
uh
This is really going off the rails.
oh yeah, it's getting insane. But then he's up at the top there, right? He's at the top of the altar.
Right.
And he pulls out a pin out of his head.
Oh, no.
Shit, he's doing it. And there's a little worm on it.
No.
And he stabs one into his hand. And then he pulls another pin out and stabs it into his other hand.
Oh, now I understand.
And
what
then
he's
pulls
doing.
his arms out like a
Yeah.
crucifix.
Sure.
And then says, "I am the way." And then like all of the windows explode.
This is so stupid.
And then the whole church starts collapsing. Then
Oh, it just can't stand up to the regality that is
I know.
Pinhead.
And then
This is like such a fucking check. Like, that's like an atheist walking into church thinking this is what's gonna happen. Like this, I'm gonna go to my mom's church and I'm gonna go like this. And I'm gonna say
be like, "Oh, fucking God isn't real, fuckers."
and then like I'm gonna fucking like bleed.
And
Love
I'm gonna
it.
like cut my hands like
Yeah.
Jesus and be like, "What a mockery!" and like put it on my boobs or something. My man boobs. I don't know.
This is a fat atheist, of course.
It could be any boobs. It could be big
Sure.
boobs, little boobs. Boobs
Yeah.
come in all sizes, Mike.
That's all right. They
I got
do.
boobs. They're not very big, but you know what? They're still valid
They're
boobs.
beautiful.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
It's so fucking funny. This is insane.
Oh, well, here's the funniest part is
What?
seeing this craziness, all of this,
Yes.
you know, seeing the fact that your church is now falling apart
Yes.
and like he, claims false witness as God.
Yeah.
The priest is like, "I'm going to get you." And just starts getting up.
No! He's gonna try and beat up Pinhead!
He has no weapon or anything. He's just like, "I'm going to get you."
He's got God on his side.
And then he grabs him and he's like, "Oh, you wish to partake? Well, here is a bit of my body for you."
Oh, this
and then
is Catholicism.
feeds him like he tears off a bit of his own flesh and like starts feeding the priest.
Oh, man.
And then at this point, finally, remember that like, I don't know, she has a box that's supposed to trap him.
Yeah. The
So
whole
now,
puzzle box
I think when
thing.
the church
kinda
got destroyed, when she saw the guy being fed his own like human's flesh or
Yeah.
Cenobite flesh, she's like, maybe I should, I don't know, catch this guy,
like, do something
do
about
something
this.
about this.
Yeah.
So it finally distracts him. He's like, "Hey, get over here.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be all spooky now and use my little
Puzzle box.
puzzle box to get
Yeah.
you."
Right. Trap you up.
Let's see what happens. I'm sorry, this part got weird. It goes
It gets
weird,
weird
at
from
this point.
here.
Sorry, it's gonna amp up more.
Oh, yeah. So the priest.
He tries chasing her. She runs outside, and then she finds our two guys, JP and Terry.
Okay.
And they're both Cenobites.
No.
So JP
What do they look like?
So she just looks like lady. Like she
Okay.
just looks like Cenobite
she in
lady.
leather?
Like picture. Yeah, of course, leather. The whole thing.
All right.
Nothing
cool.
unique about her. Him, on the other hand, his is interesting because the way he died is he got impaled with 2 pins and like through his head.
Right.
They're still there and they're like pumping in and out, which is a cool effect.
Well, that's
I was like,
pretty
"Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Okay." But that's all he kind of does, which is
Oh.
interesting because he likes fucking a lot. So it's kind of like his head's being plucked
pumped.
continuously.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. That's a neat
cute.
way. She just doesn't have anything because it's almost like her character is just
Was
like, "I'm
nothing.
sad."
Yeah.
That's
Terry's
it.
a really like shitty character,
Yeah,
honestly.
really
For
doesn't have a lot
basically
going for
just
her.
being a person who is like downtrodden and taken advantage of your entire life. Like,
Yeah.
nothing comes of her character
No,
whatsoever.
nothing at all. Absolutely nothing.
Cool. Anyway,
So they're basically circling her and being like, "Yeah, we're gonna get you.
we're gonna get you.
We're gonna show you the
They're
great
fucking
ways."
snapping their fingers. Like
Pretty
this is
much,
West Side
they're literally
Story.
just like walking around her and like taking little slashes at her like arms or something
oh
like
my
that,
God.
and just watching. And she sees Pinhead appear,
Mm.
and then she's like, "Yeah, well, I'm gonna get." She just says, "Play with this, Pinhead," and then she fucking does the puzzle box and puts it on the ground, and they're like, "Oh my God, is it gonna work?" And it's just like the puzzle box just sits there, and you're like, "Oh, this doesn't work," and then it starts moving. And you're like, maybe it's working. And then it starts moving again. And then the Terry's like Cenobites getting scared.
Yeah.
And then it opens up, starts zapping all the Cenobites.
No.
You
I
know.
mean, yay.
Yeah, all of them start getting zapped.
Cool.
Say Pinhead for last.
Of course.
And then there you go. It's all good.
Oh.
We're fine.
That's-
All of them are back in the box, right?
Sure.
Well, the thing is
They're not all back in the box.
It zaps in, and she basically is like, "Elliot, did I do it? Am I done? Oh shit, I didn't bring him through the window like you told me to."
Fucking idiot.
And then whoop!
They're right
Suddenly
back.
we're in a field.
Oh.
We're in an open field.
This is probably the Vietnam flashback.
It's a Vietnam flashback. And
Yeah.
guess what? Her dad's there. Her dad appears.
Beautiful.
Handsome dad.
Oh, sexy.
Sexy ass
These
dad.
two have got chemistry.
Handsome dad. Yeah, exactly. Same age almost. And he's like, how did I get here? She's like, oh my God, this must be a reward for me putting the Cenobites away. And he's like, all I heard is that, like, my daughter's here and she wants to see me. And so I came, and here you are, and you're so beautiful and grown up. And he also said that you have something to give me or something. She's like, oh yeah, I don't need this box anymore. Take it.
Give the box to your dad.
Yeah, you have a box for me, Joey? She's like, yeah, here you go. As soon as she gives it to him, she's like, wait a second. How did you know my name? And then, whoop, it's Pinhead. It's not her dad.
Whoopsies. It's Pinhead.
It's Pinhead.
How
She's
do you
like,
know my name? I'm your daughter.
well, yeah, but he died before she was born.
So, did he fuck her mom, and then the mom was pregnant, and then he died in war, and then she got born?
I guess so.
So her mom's the one that named her.
I guess so.
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful.
I want to know a story about her mom.
Yeah, we want to know more about the mom.
Next
Show some moms,
Hellraiser,
less dad.
please. Yeah.
No, don't worry. Maybe we'll be there. Probably not. So yeah. So it's like, well,
So
shit.
now Pinhead has the box.
So
'cause
Pinhead
he
has the
fucking
box
tricked
and it's
her ass.
over. But then they suddenly get transported to another window,
Mhm.
or actually like a room, and we're in Elliot's dimension now because the thing is Pinhead cheated. Pinhead cheated and went through a window to her mind.
This is so stupid.
Oh yeah,
This
She
is
got-
needlessly complicated.
he jumped through the window of her mind,
God.
and now Elliot can take control, and it's just like, it's over for you now. And he's like, no, I'm gonna turn her into a Cenobite, and like she wraps her up in bondage, puts her up, and then this creepy machine pops up, and it's like, I'm gonna do machine stuff to you, the Cenobite stuff that we never see,
Right.
except in very quick cuts. And then he's like, well, you created me, don't you want this? You'll like her better this way.
Mhm.
And he's like, oh, I don't know, maybe I will. But then it's like, you know what, Pinhead, we belong together. And he grabs her, and then or grabs him, and then they start warping into each other, and their heads are like fusing together. It looks like a
Whoa.
bad Snapchat filter, like it's them warping together. But then there's a real good one where it's a practical effect of their heads being fused together, which looks cool.
This is the girl and
No, this is Elliot and Pinhead. They're reuniting.
so is it like trick photography?
What do you mean?
Two actors, they're the same actor.
Oh, they probably just put someone. You don't think they could fake another Pinhead with makeup?
That's possibly
Like
true,
it's
yeah.
pretty easy.
Yeah, it's just a guy in a Pinhead outfit.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
I'm pretty
fair.
sure they just did that.
Okay, cool.
And they started fusing, and anyway, they fused together. And let's see. So the freaking creepy ass ghoul thing from the ground disappears.
Mhm.
Um,
And then
she's like, "Well, I'm still here, and then I'm gonna get you." And also, Elliot's face appears and is like, "Send me to hell" on Pinhead's face.
right.
And she gets the puzzle box and tries fiddling with it, turns into a knife, and then she stabs him with the puzzle box.
Is it a knife or is it a diamond?
It might be a diamond.
Like the second movie.
It might be a diamond, so that might
Yeah.
be the second diamond thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking for any kind of continuity that I can.
You're
find
probably right. Like this
Yeah.
movie does have continuity. Is it great? No, but it's
no,
there.
but it's there.
And there we go. And he gets sent back to hell, and she gets sent back to the construction site that she was at before.
Mm-hmm.
She has a puzzle box. She's like, I hate this thing. It sucks. I'm gonna bury it in the concrete that's being made. So she buries it in the concrete so no one can find it again.
Thank goodness.
Then-
Until the next movie.
Then we cut to a building which has a very weird statue out front, and you walk inside, and it's like a business building, like
Right.
some sort of Wall Street shit.
Some kind of corporate statue,
Building,
Yeah.
but you go inside and the whole place is decorated with puzzle boxes,
Oh
like puzzle box designs.
God.
It looks like a normal building, just got like kind of like a
Puzzle
the
box
barn. You know how
patterns.
Barnes and Noble has like those paintings? It's like that, but
yeah.
puzzle boxes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
And that's the end of the movie.
Sweet.
Yep.
So now it's Hellraiser, Hell in the Boardroom.
You know what today is? All meetings. Some people are gonna get off on that. And you know what?
It's hump day. And then he just starts fucking.
You want a donut, don't you? Oh, but you don't want the whole thing. You want half a donut. But if you have the whole thing, that's pleasure.
So he's wearing like how like Pinhead comes in wearing leather, and then like he's wearing like a leather top, and then he's wearing like Levi pants, and he's like, "What? It's Casual Friday." Is that the end of the movie?
Yep, that's the end of the movie.
Well, That was really bad.
It's a bad movie. It's not good.
Very bad.
It's-
Although it had some things.
It had some fun things in it. Some
according
themes, yeah.
according to Wikipedia, the author of a book, Hellraiser Films and Their Legacy, identifies that the movie deals with the horrors of war.
Sure. It's the most ham-fisted way of dealing with the horrors of war by like barely connecting it.
The writer-director said that this is a direct allusion to Elliot's war experience. Who gives a fuck? This movie sucks. I don't like it. It's bad.
It was bad.
It's
It was
really
bad.
bad. It was really boring in my half of the movie too.
I imagine the first half was super boring. 'Cause
Yeah.
you got box Cenobites. You don't even get the whole thing.
I didn't see fucking Pinhead pop out anywhere. It was just his face. It was
Yeah.
so lame. But I will say I would never have guessed where this movie went.
No, it's ridiculous.
Apparently the ending, like this is like a little bit like not nobody knows for sure the real story, but like Clive Barker says he hated the movie, the original cut, so much that he went in and fixed the ending personally.
Wow.
So yeah,
That's interesting. Because
Yeah,
it's funny because he didn't want to put his name on this. He didn't want
Understandably.
the credit. But then I believe someone, I think the director, maybe one other producer asked for his opinion on the film and was just like, oh, fine, I'll do some changes. And then like was like, fine, you can put my name on it. I'll promote it with my Candyman movie.
yeah. Candyman came out around the same
So
time.
it got
That's
the
right.
Clive Barker Presents banner, which I think maybe the last time we see that banner.
I wonder. Oh, I wonder.
So yeah, it's I don't know, man. I know this is gonna go off the rails, but like it really just goes to show how much a movie franchise can suffer as soon as you pull the veil away, right? Like as soon as you amp it up to like ridiculousness.
Yeah.
Um
Because like what's stopping them from just keeping the same tone as the first movie, right? Like the first movie was like it took place in like two places, like two locations. Most of it took place in the house,
Yeah.
like in the attic particularly. Like it was like a creepy slow burn of a film that like quickly ramped up, you know? Like
I think it's the trouble though, is like as franchises go on, like you just have to amp up the stakes for people. You run out of ideas. You can't just do the same thing over and over again.
I guess not.
You can't have that slow reveal again because people aren't going to know what's going to happen.
That's true. The big thing about the first movie is like the mystery, and then if you watch the second and third one, you know everything.
Everything behind it. You know
Yeah.
all the nuts and bolts. You know who Pinhead is. You know
I just find it funny too because it's like the only character, like none of the other Cenobites show up. There's one reference
No
to
Butterball.
Kirsty. No Butterball. There's no reference to Frank. Like none of the original characters.
I also
are
what I
back.
like is that the second movie introduced the concept of turning someone into a Cenobite,
Yeah, and
A-
now that's happening.
and now it's just like, well, we had one like major character turn to a Cenobite,
Right,
and it was
right,
like a
right.
main villain like
Yeah.
through the whole thing. This one's like, fuck it, 4 people get turned into Cenobites, 5 actually, I think.
Remember how last movie we were like, oh, more puzzle boxes. This is gonna be a trend. There's gonna be more puzzle. There are more puzzle.
There are there all
boxes
those art,
at the
all the
end of
art.
the movie.
Exactly, there's more puzzle boxes, dude.
Fuck.
Yeah,
Dude,
I don't
and
know-
more Cenobites.
I am so curious and scared where this movie's going franchise is going to go next. Because like, I don't know how they're going to bring Pinhead back again. Because at this
And
point,
how much sooner is Pinhead going to show up?
Yeah.
Because clearly that's the most him and the box are the most recognizable.
those are the two things.
Yeah.
That's what the franchise is built on. Two
Yeah.
things. You got leather. I guess 3 things: leather, puzzle boxes,
and
Pinhead.
Yeah.
and I guess Cenobites in general. There's probably more.
Cenobites are under Pinhead.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah,
They're under
yeah,
the
yeah.
umbrella.
And here's the real question. Oh, this will be fun. Do you think in the next movie? So a couple questions. Will Pinhead arrive sooner than 30 minutes into the movie?
Oh, sooner than 30.
Because that's the earliest he arrives in this film is 30 minutes.
And
So-
starts talking.
Yeah. So do you think he'll show up earlier than that? And the other question is, will the original 3 Cenobites show up again? At all.
Oh, I think they're gonna have original Cenobites. There's 10 movies. They're
There
gonna go
are.
back to that well.
Yeah.
They're
But
gonna
just
go back
not
to the
yet.
Butterball well. Not, I don't think it's gonna be the next couple.
No.
I think it'll be like
I
maybe
think
like that's like a 7.
once they're like, we've run out of things to do with Pinhead, let's bring in Butterball.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Butterball's massacre.
Imagine if they were like, you know who really tested well?
Butterball.
Butterball. Let's drop Pinhead. Butterball's gonna be the villain next time.
Just completely reboot it.
Yeah.
As we go on from these movies, I'm remiss to remember the NFTs that came out of Pinhead and how they had to manufacture multiple ones. So they had him in like smoking a cigarette
the top hat.
and him with a top hat
Like a
and all
monocle.
that shit. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? He's always been that way.
He really has.
He really has.
Well,
And-
not the beginning.
He's been that way. I mean,
Not for the first
most
movie.
most
he was
of our
genuinely scary.
most of our lives, he's been that way.
That's true.
Most of our lives.
But when he first fucking
You're
showed
right.
up,
No, you're right.
that's what's so upsetting. It's like it's funny and it's cheap, but it's also very upsetting when you think about like when you first see Pinhead in Hellraiser. The movie up until then is a little bit goofy and silly and fun, but he shows up and you know shit's about to get real.
Mm-hmm.
Like Pinhead gave me nightmares when I was a kid. Like there was something really off about him.
Yeah.
And now he's such a
He looks
fucking
so
joke.
goofy. Like even
the makeup
I
doesn't
was
look
gonna
good
say,
anymore.
Something about his face is just maybe because he emotes so much and talks.
Yeah.
It makes him less scary.
You know what it is? The pins are bouncing now.
Oh, you might be
In
right.
the first couple movies, the pins were straight and they felt like pins. Now they look like
They look
plastic.
soft.
They look soft and
He
they're
looks
drooping.
soft. I was wondering, I'm like, did either he put on weight or something, or maybe the makeup is. It's just like
Maybe
I
it's
don't
just
know.
thicker makeup, I think.
Maybe it could be just thicker makeup, but
Yeah.
like he just looks less scary. Looks like a goofy guy running around now. I don't know.
He doesn't look scary anymore.
What I'm wondering, and I doubt this is the case, but it's very interesting to see like a franchise like this and a franchise like Chucky, which
Oh, yeah.
had like still keeps all of its lore around, but also made like a pretty good movie franchise around or a TV show around it
Yeah.
while keeping all that lore intact.
Yeah. Well, you know why?
Hmm.
Same guy wrote every single movie.
Yeah, you're right. That's
So it's
why there's at
one
least one
vision.
creative vision.
If I bet if Clive Barker wanted to, I don't think he wanted to. That's the thing is like I think not just like he saw this movie and was like I don't want to be part of it. I feel like Clive Barker's like I'm done telling the story I want to tell. you
Yeah,
know?
you're probably right. Like there's nothing more to tell.
But if he had shown up, I think this would have been a good series. I think he would have actually kept up like
Yeah.
the mystique and mystery.
Well, I think that's interesting is that I believe there are bad Chucky films, right? Like there's quite a few of them, but even so,
It's
they own
one
up to
voice.
it. It's one voice,
Yeah.
which is interesting and kind of brings up the whole Star Wars prequel thing, where it's like, yeah, they're bad, but at least it's one voice.
At least it's one guy's
At least it's one
like
horrible vision.
adventure. Yeah.
Yeah,
But like I think that's a different thing where it's like
totally.
I feel like this Chucky movies know what they are.
Yes, they do.
Star Wars, it's like they don't know what they, especially the prequels, don't know what they are.
That's true.
Like they're a kids movie, they're a very serious political thriller. Like it doesn't
It's
fucking
all
know
over
what
the
it
place.
is.
That's true.
Yeah. This, however, it's trash. It's
It's
garbage.
just-
It's goofy as hell.
It's so weird. I am surprised how many different times and how many different puns they could work hell into. Like there are so many. It's like time to go to hell. All this stuff.
I'm
It's
waiting
like
for
we
Hell
get it.
Froze Over.
Is that a subtitled one?
I'm wondering if it will be. I don't know.
Oh man.
We'll have to see. But that's,
I think
that,
I think they dropped the subtitles after a while. I think they just numbered them. They're
I
like,
don't know.
this is
Don't look 'em up.
easier. Oh, okay,
we're gonna
right.
watch. We're gonna figure it out when we watch the movie.
Which we are staying on.
Are we?
Yeah, we gotta decide that. Are we keep going? We gotta keep going, right?
Hey guys, should we keep going?
You can't
You
ask
should email
people
us
that,
at emailtheotherhalfpodcast.com.
Mike, you can't ask that because by the time they ask that,
Yeah.
the other podcast will be recorded by
That's
then.
fair. Yeah, we're gonna watch the next one.
Yeah,
obviously.
we got to keep going.
Can you look up the name of the next movie? Look it up. I'm gonna do
Okay.
the plugs, then we'll end with figuring out what the name of the next movie is. If you have any thoughts on the Hellboy movies too, but the Hellraiser as well, you can email us at podcast. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Rate that again.
Email at theotherhalfpodcast.com. You
Okay.
can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also listen to our previous Hellboy episodes, the previous Spring of Bites episodes on any podcatching app. And while you're there, please leave a 5-star rating and review. We will read the show no matter what it says, even if it sends us directly to hell and turns us into Cenobites.
Whoa. I think it's really funny that as I'm glazing over and looking at these Wikipedia entries, and like 3 is for some reason the longest in the series.
The longest movie?
The longest like Wikipedia entry in
Oh,
this like
okay.
series.
Yeah.
And then number 5 is like 2 sentences. But the next one is called Hellraiser 4 Bloodline. And excuse me, they do drop the numbers. They just call them
Titles.
they just call them titles.
They don't.
after
Yeah,
a
they don't
while.
have.
'Cause
They don't number them anymore.
They probably don't want to reveal like how many there are, because if you did, you probably wouldn't watch one, because you'd be like, damn, this one's on number 10.
But we will.
But we're sick, fucked up, and we like the darkest pleasures.
Good night, everybody.